I have the privilege to offer some closing comments and to thank the iBUILD team for making us a part of your journey. It has been a very rewarding experience to be a part of this diverse and interdisciplinary team. We also thank you for your patience in hearing us when we gave our thoughts and ideas on the direction of your research, or we asked for a greater emphasis on any particular area. So thank you for that. And we are very pleased to see the outcome of how you have successfully pulled all of these different ideas and thoughts and the different work streams that you started off with into a very useful and cohesive report. Your final report is a well-balanced mix of academic research and practical guidance for policymakers, for people in the industry like myself, and for future researchers. So well done, Team iBUILD. We'll give yourself a hand here, I think. The iBUILD team has asked that I share some thoughts of how the iBUILD research may have been relevant to me and what benefits that it would bring to people in the industry. In the consulting industry, we are, we do a lot of work with academics, especially when it comes to delivering innovation and certain very specialized aspects of our projects and programs. As part of CH2M, now Jacobs, our collaboration has extended over pretty much all our major programs, right down from the Panama Canal to the Olympics to the innovation initiative at Crossrail. But for me personally, let me try to look at what this means to me. The last decade has been about living through hurricanes in New Orleans and then the flooding in Houston. And this is an area where collaboration is very important because we need to deliver infrastructure solutions that are resilient to these natural disasters, of which there's always bigger and more devastating ones coming through. And I think we've heard today and we've seen through the last 4 years that there has been a lot of emphasis on that at the iBUILD. Professionally, the last decade is also, if I look back, has been about managing programs that have to do with consent decree-driven CSO and SSO controls programs. And again, there we need tools for better prediction of the SSOs. So cities like New Orleans, Houston, Toronto, everybody is reeling with all of these problems. We need better flood prediction models. And we have been able to collaborate with the University of Newcastle to do a better flood prediction model, with the University of Chicago for flood prediction. But iBUILD has been a lot more than just be about specific tools. It has looked at the much broader aspects of infrastructure delivery and business models. So in industry, in our role as program managers and delivery partners to our clients, we have an obligation to deliver infrastructure that is fit for the future, so that it is sustainable, it is environmentally friendly, it is smart, and it is based on principles of social equity. These themes require interdisciplinary thought, and iBUILD has made a great contribution in providing the forum where all of these different types of people, industry practitioners and policymakers and researchers from different fields of engineering and economics have been able to come together and brainstorm and come up with and formulate the problems and challenges of the future infrastructure. The team has in particular, looked at regulatory governance and technological issues. It's taken a holistic view of the interdependencies. Now, this is really important to us because we, again, owe it to our clients to understand, to exploit the nexus between the water and energy and waste, or between energy and transport. This, even though we may be doing a water program for somebody or a transportation program, it's important that we recognize, we exploit that so that we are delivering cost-effective solutions. The most significant challenge, I guess, that we've talked about at the today, as well as through the whole iBUILD experience, has been that of funding. We are living in today with the challenge of a shortage of funding, with aging infrastructure, with a resistance to increasing taxes. So we have to, look at other ways of generating funding and financing mechanism. And while and iBUILD has actually opened up this discussion on pension funds, on different types of financing models. And I can say that from something that I'm working on now, this is kind of a very relevant discussion, because, for example, on a huge $40 billion rail transit program for a city, we've just closed our eyes and said, okay, it means we need to do some alternate financing. And maybe it's all going to be design, build, finance, operate, and maintain, because PFIs and P3s are unlikely to be the solution, because there just aren't that many private investors that are going to put in for the infrastructure that's $40 billion. But really, is DBFOM really going to be the panacea for all of this? We have to think through. And so this is an important discussion where we've, over the last couple of years, we've looked at pension funds in some of our meetings. We've looked at what is required to increase private sector, private investors' interest in getting to deal or be interested in investing in infrastructure. So iBUILD, has made a lot of recommendations, 14, I think, of them. But I personally think that opening this discussion, creating this forum for interdisciplinary thought and exchange is probably one of the most significant contributions of iBUILD. Other than that, from where I stand, I think that the emphasis on in the recommendations that relate to regulatory reform and governance, so that that would enable us to build these sustainable solutions, because we've been through certain places where we've found that the governance and regulations just make it impossible to come up with, to actually implement some of the very innovative solutions that we look for. The second one has been around the nexus of the infrastructure systems, and finally the financing and funding mechanisms, and trying to find the value for the social, of being able to actually incorporate the socio-economic and values of that infrastructure brings to us, and have that mechanism. iBUILD is coming to a close. The recommendations to serve policymakers and to reimagine the infrastructure have been documented. I think this is a great starting point. I guess that now it is for us in the industry, the investors, the regulators, to demonstrate to some extent, along with the researchers that will come behind this iBUILD research, is to show how we can operationalize this. So how do we as the industry exploit, for example, the technical and the market values of this nexus of infrastructure, or the interdependencies, as you've called it, or for the investors to come up with more robust mechanisms for the valuation of all of the social and economic values, and finally for the regulators to put together the reforms that will make it possible for us to build this future infrastructure. So thank you and good luck to all. In closing, just my thanks on behalf of the board again to Professor Richard Dawson and his co-directors, Professor Chris Rogers and Professor Pernell, and the managing team, and of course to Claire Walsh for her quiet and constant support through all of these years. And good luck, everybody. Thank you.